Hello guys, I am back once again. Today I have someone very special with me and let me have an on board. Okay. Hello everyone. Hello Furkan, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you, Mavish?
I'm fine. I first wanted to say thank you for saying yes to me and coming on board, sharing your experience and your expertise. It means a lot to me.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for inviting me. I hope the session is. I'm just trying to set the camera. I hope this session is informative.
Yes. So, uh, uh, let's just wait for more people to join in before I start the questions. Everyone, thank you for joining in. How's your day been so far?
Uh, Saturdays is usually a little easy, uh, especially in COVID. Most of the things are closed. Most of my restaurants are closed. I'm just doing a delivery service through my one of my kitchens all across Lahore.
Okay,
So,
okay.
things are pretty chilled at the moment here in Pakistan.
I hear you. Okay. Come on, guys. We are live with Rice Bowl owner for Bucha, and I'm waiting for you to join in, please. Somebody saying, what a coincidence. I just had Rice Bowl. It. Shelf. Hi, everyone. Hello. How's the weather?
Weather is pretty good in Lahore. It rained and it's for June. It's pretty pleasant. There's a cool breeze. Very
Okay.
unlike the weather in Lahore during this time.
Okay, okay.
Well, I can see some questions coming my way. So
Yes, yes,
the
please.
DIY,
Yes.
yeah. So the DIY is which is cook yourself meals is doing very well. Um, the reason for that is that a lot of people are conscious of the fact that the hygiene standards of restaurants are a question mark to a lot of people. But let me just tell you that most of the restaurants or all the good brands that are doing business in Lahore or Pakistan have very strict hygiene measures in their kitchens, and we are one of them. We use all products that are used by most of these big companies like McDonald's or Hardee's or Burger King. So we are also using the same uh, systems, same processes for our hygiene levels. And plus, we are doing daily temperature checks. We are doing every fortnightly testing of our employees if they show any symptoms or if somebody is coughing. So he's not allowed to enter. There is an entire process that we follow in our kitchens. And that has been going on not, the process of hygiene is not new to us as many other places. It's been with us since the day that we've launched. So, and coming back to your question about the DIY kits, so that was the reason that we launched them, and it's been a phenomenal success. We didn't expect it to be so well received in the market that it is, and people are really enjoying it. They're getting the same quality of food that they get at our restaurants, and the fun part is that they're creating these own dishes by themselves. So it's a little, the secrets are out. They know how our food is made, but obviously the ingredients are well hidden. So they have to replicate the sauces, which is a pretty difficult thing. So yes, it's doing well.
So, just like you said about the hygiene, do you follow guidelines given to you in just Pakistan, or is it like a global thing that you get, like from abroad or
So,
something?
hygiene levels for restaurants are there is a certification called HSAP. Uh, that is the prime certification of how guidelines are basically based on those concepts. However, I must appreciate the Punjab Food Authority, who are very proactive, and they keep all the restaurants on their toes on all the hygiene standards that we have to maintain. So it's a combination of what we do. You know, the Punjab Food Authority is a fairly new body in Pakistan, so they are, you know, in the process of developing lots of processes that we need to follow. But the basic Bible for that is the HSAP manual, which we have been following for the last 7-8 years since we've been in business.
Okay, okay. Now let's just carry on with the session. So,
Yeah.
I personally believe that person is either driven through or pain to something like you're doing. What is your take on it? Were you driven through pain or through pleasure?
Okay. First of all, passion, without passion, you can't do any business. You have to be
Right.
passionate of anything that you do. Uh, Especially, passion and commitment in our business, which is the restaurant business, is very important. Why
Mm-hmm.
so? Because just I'll just give you an example. It's like you're the captain of a boat which is stuck in a storm.
Right.
So you have to be hands-on 100% at all times, 365 days a year. We don't take any days off. The business keeps running on weekends where most businesses are closed or offices are closed. So
Right.
it's so the captain of the ship has to be hands-on in everything that he does. Fortunately for
Right.
me, Rice Bowl came into existence because of two people, myself and my partner Shahzada Danial Farooq. And he's I know him since my school days. So,
Mm-hmm.
we are the two people who got together, brainstormed this idea, and brought it to reality in 2013, early 2013. And it was purely passion and a lot of hard work that got us to where we are today.
Great.
To
Great.
answer your question, pain is part of the process.
Okay.
No
Okay.
business is
And were you
successful.
okay?
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
got you. And uh, were you an entrepreneur from the beginning, or did you have a job before? Or
Absolutely not. My family is predominantly a farming family. Uh,
okay.
uh, None of the people in my family have ever done any business, uh, and
Okay.
neither did I. The first 25
Okay.
years of my professional life was working with companies like Bank of America, uh, and Habib Bank and Mobilink. Most of my corporate life was spent at the cellular company, and then my last job was at Warid Telecom. And
Okay.
after 25 years, I thought, I've had enough. I've made a lot of, I've made money for a lot of people. It's time that I start making something for myself, and leave a legacy behind for me and for Danial, for our children, so they can build on that.
Right.
So both of us, Danial was an entrepreneur. He has never worked, but I, from the very beginning, had a corporate life. So it was a leap of faith where I took quite late in my life. I wish I would have taken it when I was in my early 30s, but
Okay.
I was too focused on my career growth at that time. So in 2013, I thought about doing some work, and I had been talking to people, some very successful friends who are entrepreneurs, um, and they had different ideas. And then one day, me and Daniel were sitting together, and we discussed about the food business. There's no
Okay.
other business like food business if it's successful. So that's how this
Right.
idea came into existence. So I took that leap of faith. I resigned without opening anything. That was the level of passion and
Oh, wow.
commitment that, uh, and it was a very tough first 2 years because historically restaurants which open, new restaurants which open, 60% of those closed down in the first 12 months.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Wow.
because yeah, yeah, so that's the success rate for anybody who wants to get into this business. But if you're passionate
Oh,
and if you're
mm-hmm.
quality conscious, uh, and if you know the market, then I think you've got a great recipes of success. So Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, we were very slow. The first 6 months we didn't sell anything. We worked on our concept, on our menus, on our, and we did everything ourselves.
Okay.
And Daniel took the lead on the side of the food development. I took the lead on the side of process development. So we gelled in together, and Alhamdulillah, we're still together and working very well.
Well, that's very inspiring because neither did you have a background, you had no knowledge about it, and you were just driven by passion and you just jumped into it, leaving your job and everything, and that's really amazing. And how do you feel with this decision? Are you happy at where you are right
I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm right now.
now? Oh, great.
In 2020, the whole world has turned upside down. Uh,
Okay.
and a lot of businesses have closed, not only restaurants, but a lot of other businesses have closed globally. In the US, I was reading an article about 30% of the food industry is never going to revive there, which is a huge number for a country like, for North America. Similarly, in Europe, the numbers are slightly higher. Uh, but for us, the day that the government announced the lockdown, we closed everything. So
Okay.
we are very, very conscious of what we do at Rice
Okay.
Bowl. So me and Daniel had a discussion, and uh, what we did was that we asked our employees to stay on board, go to their homes. We'll pay them. We still continue to pay them. We had about 350. We have around 350 employees. Um,
Wow.
and uh, and so we closed everything, and we saw what the market was doing, and then we did some development on our own of how we are going to hit the market with the COVID situation prevailing. So
Right.
even now, we are quite comfortable in how we are working, and we are very hopeful sooner or later this thing is going to die down. If not in months, then maybe 6 to 8 months, and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to be back on track. Uh,
Great, great. Somebody kept on asking, when are you going to open for dine-in with social distancing?
Absolutely, it's not our decision. We are ready. We have the systems and the processes in place. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot open without the consent of the government of Pakistan. We
Okay.
were ready to open on the first, but the government decided not to open restaurants for dine-in, and rightly so because Pakistan is right now um, peaking. They're peaking, so we just thought that we'll just hold back. We are ready as soon as the government announces. It's just going to take us a couple of days to get everything organized and start serving customers as per the
So,
SOPs
Furkan,
laid out.
what is your plan of action with social distancing? How are you going to manage the dining?
Uh, well, there is a set of rules that we have to follow. So
Okay.
first things first, at least 50-60% of the seating of our restaurant. So our average restaurant hosts about 100 guests. So
Okay.
that'll come down. That'll come down to 50. So we'll have a
Okay.
seating capacity of 50, and that too with the guidelines that have been shared with us. They're going to be 6 feet apart. We're going to have allocated waiting areas for people who are waiting in line. We're going to
Okay.
do an entire process check of customers who are walking in with temperature checks, and then we'll ask them to wear their masks till their food is served. There is no
Great.
handshaking, absolutely. Um,
Okay.
you know, and use of sanitizers on the tables. And after the
Okay.
guests leave, we sanitize the tables with the products that we have, which are from a company called Ecolab, which is based out of Germany and the US. So it kills
Okay.
100% germs right there and then. So it's going to be a new thing for us, like it's been for every other industry, be it retail or be it food.
Right.
So, but we are well prepared,
Right.
and the government is really working hard to develop SOPs. Okay, I
Okay.
have
And
certain questions. But can you mind if
yes, you
I
can
can
ask
just
that.
answer these questions?
Yes, yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay, so dine-ins are always feasible. You know, why they're feasible is that we somewhat control what the customer wants. So, you know, we have analysis and trends that what customers are looking for when they walk into a restaurant. And
Okay.
our order takers you know, trained to manage orders uh, by understanding what the customer needs are. So even with 50% reduction in our seating capacity, we still think we'll be able to manage. Right now, it's, you know, what's important right now is to stay afloat rather than make money. Anybody who thinks
Okay.
that they'll
Right.
go money other than the pharmaceutical or the medical industry, they are the only ones who can benefit from this undesirable situation. But uh, right now, everybody that I know is looking to break even for at least 6 years. And that's what our plan is. And if we make money, we make money. People are going to come.
Great.
Believe me, people are sick and tired of sitting at home. They're ignoring the
Right.
COVID situation as it is in Pakistan.
Right. It's really frustrating. I can understand that. So 6, 8 months. Tell me how are you getting your employees to not freak out as far as the salaries are concerned, as far as like if you do open
Okay, I
with
can't
the
say
dining.
much about what other people are doing. So what we've done is that we've basically developed a package, a retention package for all our employees, where some of the employees are very expensive. Some of them are mid-tier. Some of them are entry-level positions. So what we've done is that we've developed a retention package for them, so their house needs are met.
Okay.
Obviously, they get a lot of money through the tips that we collect on their behalf and then is distributed amongst them. So that's additional income which is not coming. But their basic salaries, where they can run their households comfortably, is something that we are willing to do and we have been doing, and we hope and continue to do that. That is the only way forward. It's a huge bill. It's a huge cost to the company. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of companies have laid off a lot of people recently, especially
Right.
in the more developed markets like North America and Europe. But
Right.
we do our best. Our cost of living is slightly cheaper here, so we do our best. So, okay, there's another question. What
Yes.
precautions are
Yes.
we taking with your staff?
With your
So, what
staff.
we done, we right now, out of the 300 plus staff members that we have, we only have about 40 working with us because we have our commissary running. So
Right.
there is a regular checklist that we perform with them with temperature checks, 15 minutes. Everybody has to wear a mask. Everybody has to go through a test, which is an antibody test that we have, or we've imported from Germany, that they have to go through
Okay.
that every fortnightly. Plus, they are not allowed to shake hands. We're maintaining 6 feet of distance between people. They're wearing masks. So that's all that we can do.
Right. Right. And Furkan, how are you and your partner on your business where you're seeing that you might not be able to open in the next 6 to 8 months?
I don't
How
think
is that?
so. I don't think it's going to take that long for us to open. I think it's a matter of maybe 4 to 6 weeks. That's what we think, if not earlier. But
Okay.
we're very confident over. So what we have is we have a very huge base of loyal customers uh, who order us every day. So
That's
what
great.
we yeah. So what we intend of doing is that we are giving them the flexibility to either cook rice bowl at home themselves or order our food. And it's initially when COVID started, it was an 80-20 split. People were more inclined towards cooking food at home, but now that trend is changing, and we forecasted that to about 60-40, where 60% of the people are ordering food which is cooked.
Okay. Right. So we have another
Yes.
question. Somebody's asking.
Okay, so the question is, you have multiple locations. Are all the locations open for carry? No, okay. So we have 4 locations in Lahore. Only one is
Mhm.
operational, and we're managing our deliveries from that one kitchen. None of the other,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Locations are optional.
none of the locations are operational except one.
Okay. 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 Now let's move forward. Let's now stop with COVID-19. Let's talk some good stuff, send some positive energy to people. I wanted to ask you in future, are you willing to extend rice bowl outside of your own country?
Yeah, what before this dreaded environment came into existence, we already had plans which we were working on, slightly
Awesome.
conservatively, not very aggressively, to go to
Okay.
Europe and North America. So
Okay.
we hired a few consultants who did some work for us in the North American market, especially in the US and in Canada. And so we're very positive that we will be able to go there and make an impression in a very tough market. But we understand that there are a lot of people who are now not very happy with eating sweet Chinese. Everything is sweet. If you go to America and order Chinese food, everything
Yes.
is
Yes.
sweet.
That's
Yeah,
right. Right.
it's either bland or it's sweet, and now people have understood what. So the concept in North America, especially, is Hakka Chinese. Hakka Chinese
Okay.
is slightly more. Uh, it has more
It's like
flavors rather
sweet.
than just yeah. So what we do here is
Okay.
that we manufacture our own sauces. Uh,
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we understand what the taste or the palate of the customer is where we are serving food. And
Okay.
there is a huge market. For example, Atlanta, where you are. Um,
Right.
I've been to 5 or 6 restaurants, and the most traffic that I saw in a restaurant was at the Hakka Chinese, where the food is more spicy, there are more flavors. So, and
Right.
there are very few of those around. But I think Canada or the US market is good enough for us to be there for at least it'll keep
And
us
you,
secure.
I feel that if you go to these places, one of the biggest pluses you have is that your food will be under the halal label. So that would be a big plus for you guys out there in this market.
Yeah, that's before I answer you. Yes, Asma, we were rolling out a plan to start franchising for Pakistan. Unfortunately, right after we get a hold on the situation here, our franchise model is going to roll out in Pakistan, and we already have a lot of inquiries that we are addressing right now. Even now, people are interested in opening. It's just
Oh,
that we want to see how things move forward before we commit, because it's a full-time commitment. It's
right.
you know, people have this misunderstanding that restaurants are run by money. Yes, money is very important, but restaurants are managed by people and processes. And if you just have money, can give you hundreds of examples where people threw in a lot of money to open a very, very fancy restaurant, and it closed in 6 months. So one of the main things that we work with our potential partners is that we try and understand if that they want is going to be their primary source of business. If that's the case, then we are, very happy to start working with them.
Great, great. Um, I even forgot what I asked you. What question did I ask you before you started answering her?
I, I'm sorry I didn't get your question. I was actually answering Asma's question.
Okay, so before the COVID-19 happened, I wanted to know what was your criteria for hiring employees? Were there any kind of blood screening done before you hired them, or uh, what
Okay,
guidelines were you following?
all right. So, from the restaurant is run in two areas. First is front of the house, and the other is back of the house. Back of the house is where all the cooking and preparation takes place. Uh, the good thing about Rice Bowl and the processes is that we're not reliant on very expensive chefs.
Okay,
We have very good cooks, who we call chefs because, but we can train anybody. For instance, if you know how to cook, and that's one of the
okay,
reasons that our DIY kits were successful. Was if you know how
right.
to cook, they'll put you on a Rice Bowl hot zone in 1 week.
Oh wow,
That's simple cooking we have made cooking. Uh,
that's
so,
excellent.
yeah. So most of the people we hire are entry level positions, and we grow
Okay,
them as a business.
okay,
But we do have very senior people working with us as well. Daniel is actually the brain behind the kitchen, and he's very well versed with it. So
okay.
so that's the advantage that we have over a lot of other restaurants. Other restaurants are more reliant on the chefs that they hire. So if the chef goes from that restaurant, the taste changes, which is a recipe
Wow,
for disaster as far as restaurants is concerned.
wow,
But
okay.
for us, we've made the processes so simple that even if the head chef of Rice Bowl goes away, we can pick up the next guy in line, make him the head chef, and
Wow.
he will be performing as well as the guy who left us was.
So that's like a revolutionary change behind the
Well,
kitchen for you
actually,
guys.
it's not. It's we didn't reinvent the wheel there. These things
Okay,
already exist in more developed countries. We just adapted very quickly, and we focused on doing this
okay.
rather than hiring expensive chefs and so yes, Asma, what makes us unique from the rest of the Chinese restaurants in Lahore? I would not like to make a comment on whether we are better or they're better. Uh, I think our brand success will vouch for us of how we are. But what we've
Right.
done is that we've looked at the market and we are targeting people with middle income bracket. So, anybody, so what we're doing is that we're bringing middle income people and giving them an experience of dining in a fine-star restaurant by paying a middle income restaurant cost. That is
Okay.
our recipe for success, and that's why we are very successful. And a lot of people have tried to copy us, but most of them have not been successful. Even international chains like PF Chang tried to copy us, but was not as successful as we are. Um,
So you have a
the other thing
PF
is,
there.
yeah, sorry.
So you have a PF.
The other, yeah, we have quite a few PF Changs in Pakistan now. The other
Oh,
very important thing is that our quality of ingredients is top class. We do not compromise on it. Our food cost is slightly higher than your uh, very good Chinese restaurant because we believe in quality of product rather than quantity. But we're giving quantity and quality at a very affordable price. So that's the recipe for success. I hope none of my competition is listening to this.
okay. Um, so what do you call your Chinese? Is it Desi fusion or is it like
It's a
what
Pakistani
would
Chinese.
so it's basically a Pakistani Chinese. So the flavor here is basically the Desi flavor.
It's I don't know what you mean by this. It's certainly not American.
Okay, okay,
Every dish has its own unique flavor.
okay.
Every spice that we use is very fresh, and we make our own mixes, spice mixes, and we make our own sauces. So we understand how the palate is of Pakistan. However,
Okay.
having said that, if we go to, let's say, London or we go to Atlanta, for example, we won't have to tweak much because we understand that the palate globally of Chinese food is changing from a bland, sweet to a more flavorsome experience.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Somebody saying Pakistani
Black,
fusion.
Black
Right.
Mamba is saying Pakistani Chinese fusion. Well, yes, you can say
Yes.
because if you guys have ever had authentic Chinese, it'll be difficult for you to take, digest
Yes.
that
Yes.
or
It's
take that.
good. Yes.
It's not
Right.
very appealing for our taste buds.
Right. Right. Furkan, do you want to give a message to people out there who are either starting their own business or running a small business? Um, but message out there, any words of encouragement?
Okay, guys, this is a great business to be in. You can't do this business if you're not passionate about it. If you're running after money, then this is the wrong business to be in. You have to get this rolling and the money will start flowing and you will not believe the amount of cash that you will be holding at the end of the day or the end of the week. But it's important to stay focused, understand the market, understand what people need, understand the palette of the areas that you're serving in, and find a good investor who's gonna fund your project. Um, you know, I was lucky enough to leave a very, very comfortable job and get into this business. And Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, I was successful. But a lot of people fail as well. But not
Right.
putting you guys off, you can start small and grow big. For people
Right.
who are young entrepreneurs that I talk to in LUMS and other universities who want to get into the food business, their fathers or their parents or their uncles might have very deep pockets, but that's not the success. The success is your passion and where you hold the business. As I was saying earlier, consider yourself the captain of a boat which is stuck in a storm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So if you lose focus, you're going to sink that boat. So it's a
Right.
day
Right.
in, day night, 365 days a year job which you have to. Now, I have 300 plus employees, but I'm one of the
Mm-hmm.
first people who reaches the office, and I'm the last
Okay.
guy who leaves it.
Right.
And that is purely because of the passion. Every complaint, every feedback that I get, I handle that personally, or my partner handles that personally. And that is to understand where we are lacking. If we're lacking somewhere, we'll be more than upfront in apologizing and making up for it. But it's important that you stay focused. You understand this business before you get into this business. You can get in touch with me. I'll be able to help you however I can. But it's important. Plus, it's important that if you want to get into this business, do not try and reinvent the wheel. The
Okay.
wheel was made round for a purpose. And if you're trying to make a hexagon wheel or a square wheel, it's not going to work. You can't put
Okay.
chicken kadai in a burger and sell it to customers. It won't work.
Right, right. Guys, if you have any questions, we have Furkan Bucha, the owner of Rice Bowl, on. So please feel free to send them in.
One of the owners.
So yes, one of them. One more question I had was, so you started business with your friend. What were your challenges, and what are your challenges working with uh, somebody you were personally linked with? Because that's the
Well,
business, and that's
I think I've been very lucky with my partner Daniel. We are on the same page. We have a lot of fights,
okay.
but sanity prevails
Okay.
most of the time so far, touch wood.
Okay.
And
Okay.
because we grew this from scratch, so it's like my children grew up with us. This business grew up with us as well. So
Okay.
we are very, very emotional about this business, and there's no other
Okay.
way. You have to be as caring for this business as you are for children, for your own children. Otherwise,
Okay.
if you let it go, it's going to slide down so quickly that it's unimaginable how quickly your restaurant will close before you even know it. So I've been very
Right.
lucky.
We have
Challenges we've had,
right.
but most of them are very operationalized challenges, some business
Okay.
decisions. Some of those decisions went wrong. Most of them went right. So it's a learning curve. There's no exact science to
Right.
doing this.
Part of the process. Right. Right. And somebody asked, I was about to ask that question myself. What is the big dream for you and your partner for the future, and where do you see Rice Bowl in the next, well, few years? I meant in the next decade or so. But yeah.
Okay. So the first 7 years has been a pretty easy ride for us. We came into the
Okay.
market with an absolutely new concept. Now that concept is everywhere in the market. However,
Okay.
the strength that we have over other businesses is that we have a totally process-driven organization. And that's one of the reasons our growth can be phenomenal. For our business, for how we want to grow it, I think we have a roadmap that we are following. We are looking to have at least 100 branches in the next half a decade. That's a very
Wow.
ambitious target. I'm talking on a global spectrum. We're working with partners. We are talking to companies in the US and in the UK right now, who are going to take the master franchise from us and grow that business for 25 branches a year or something like that. Because that is the potential that we are looking at for the North American market, at about 10, 15 branches for UK to begin with. Uh, and then sky's the limit. We have not thought beyond 5 years actually.
Okay. And once you expand, do you want to keep your grounding to your country, or do you want to move to one of the
We go
countries
where
that
our
you want
business
to be
takes
open?
us, where it needs us. Our country is
Okay.
very important to us. We want to
Okay.
be a very successful Pakistani food chain globally. That's a mission statement.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
and we will, inshallah, we will be. We have our focus. And as I said, we are talking to investors. We are very conscious how we want to grow. We are very conservative in the decisions that we take. Both of us are very conservative. And that's one of the reasons that we are successful. We do not go after the money. Money comes to you if you are successful. You don't have to run after it. Let the money run after you rather than you running after it.
Great, great. Uh, Thank you so much, Furqan, for giving time to me once again and sharing your expertise. I'm just going to wrap up. If there's any message you want to give to the audience, please feel free to.
Yeah, my only message is actually to stay safe, watch yourself,
Right.
watch your loved ones. This is a very difficult situation that we are all in, and it's not just us;
True.
it's the entire world. Is wherever connected from. It is important that you understand that life is more important than money. If you stay
Right.
alive, and if you're alive through this and you go out of this with good health, then you'll have enough ample opportunity to make money later on. So right now, focus yourself on your health for yourself and your
Correct.
loved ones.
Thank you so much for coming on board once again. It was a great pleasure. I learned so much from you, and I hope you on the other side of the globe soon.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for having me over, and thank you for all the people. I hope I've answered all of the questions.
Yes,
You connected with me. If you need to ask me
yes,
anything, I'll be more happy to
please,
tell.
please. Right.
But
Yes.
anyways, thank you very much. Stay
Thank
blessed, stay
you.
safe. Goodbye.
Bye.